Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to Interfaith Spiritual Center Worldwide. As I say every week, wherever you are on your journey of spirit, you are welcome, loved, and accepted. This is a way of life where we honor all paths to God. Now is the time that we take a deep breath. We quiet our bodies and we quiet our minds and we prepare ourselves for service. In this very room, there's quite enough love for one like me. And in this very room, there's quite enough joy for one like me. And there's quite enough peace, quite enough power to walk through my every fear. For spirit, one spirit, is in this very in this very room, there's quite enough love for all of us. And in this very room, there's quite enough joy for all of us. And there's quite enough peace, quite enough power to walk throughout every field. For spirit, one spirit, is in this bed. In this very room, there's quite enough love for all the world. And in this very room, there's quite enough joy for all the world. And there's quite enough peace, quite enough power to walk throughout every field. For spirit, one spirit, is in this very is in this very Oh yes, there's quite enough peace, quite enough power, and quite enough love right here in this very room. Give me one moment in time when I'm all that I knew I could be. Oh, why then, in that one moment in time, I will be. Oh, yes, we will be free. Oh, you're a winner for a lifetime. When you live each moment in time, let it shine. Give me one moment in time when I'm all that I knew I could be. Oh, why there, in that one moment in time, I will be. Oh, yes, we will be free. Oh, yes, we will be free. Oh, yes. Well, we will be free. Well, once again, good morning, everyone, and welcome to Interfaith Spiritual Center Worldwide. As I said in the beginning, wherever you are on your journey of spirit, you are welcome, loved, and accepted. This is a way of life where we honor all paths to God. Our mission is to heal, inspire, empower, and prosper the world through love, prayer, meditation, and by sharing the principles and applications of successful living. I know that many of you out there are probably having wonderful celebrations today, birthdays, anniversaries, whatever you're celebrating. Just know that we are sending our blessings out to you today on your special day. I want to remind you that on Wednesday nights, right here on Facebook, StreamYard, and several other platforms, Dr. Sharon has her Wednesday night Spirit, Mind, and Body Connection. And this month it has been on the Art of Being at 7:30. So please tune in and join her on that. Also, I want to let you know that you may be new here and you may be wondering, well, what is Interfaith Spiritual Center all about? Well, I'm going to ask our few friends and ask you if you'd like to join us on our mission of what we believe. Is everybody ready?
Yes.
What we believe. We believe in God, the one power, presence, source, and substance is all that is, whose will for us is eternal bliss, love, health, prosperity, and good fortune. We believe the power and presence of God is within us and that we can use that power to accomplish anything through our desires, beliefs, thoughts, words, and actions. We believe there are many paths to God. We embrace and support every person's right to worship as he or she chooses. We believe we are eternal and are given unlimited opportunity to succeed and attain our heartfelt desires and goals through prayer, meditation, and by practicing the principles of successful living. We believe that heaven is first a state of mind that we can attain now and forever. We believe in the law of life that states we get back what we give out. We believe that as our humanness gives way to the divine, the Christ consciousness arises triumphant and victorious. And so it is beautiful. Thank you so much. And now you have a little more knowledge about what Interfaith Spiritual Center is all about. As I said, we're in the last Sunday of this month, and our theme for the month has been the art of being. Well, I'm going to state our affirmation, and then if you'd like to repeat it after me, please join me. Spirit goes before me and prepares the way with ease and grace, and so it is. Please join me. Spirit goes before me and prepares the way with ease and grace. So it is. Beautiful. You did a wonderful job. Thank you so much for your kind attention. And now is the time that we're going to bring Dr. Sharon up, and she's going to do a beautiful meditation for you. Thank you so much.
Good morning, and welcome again to Interfaith Spiritual Center Worldwide, where we believe there's a power for good in the universe greater than we are, and we can use it, and we are using it every single day of our lives. And as I welcome you to Interfaith this morning and just acknowledge this glorious day, and that we are the two or three gathered together for a higher purpose, and as you tune in this morning, just feel that energy, fill your heart. We know the heart is the doorway to the soul. Where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. So just take a deep cleansing breath all the way down to the soles of your feet. Breathe in the good, the true, and the beautiful, whatever you conceive that to be for you. This is the day the Lord hath made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. It is a gift from God. And what we make of this thing called life is our gift back to God. So breathing in and breathing out, letting go and letting God do what God does best by means of each and every one of us who heard the call and answered. Before they call, I will answer, and while they're yet speaking, I will hear. Be still and know that I am God, that each and every one of us is a co-creator with this higher power. Whatever we choose to call our God, whatever name we put on it, it matters not. But to acknowledge that which is within us is greater than that which resides in the world of conditions, the world of appearances, the world of effects. For eye hath not seen nor ear heard, neither hath entered into the heart of humanity the things which God hath prepared for them that love. Love being the strongest healing power in the universe. And on this morning, where we acknowledge that all paths that lead to God are good, let us know that right now, somewhere in the world, a Jew is saying her prayers, a Hindu is chanting a mantra, and a Buddhist is kneeling at her sacred shrine. Right now, at this very moment, someone is lighting a candle in a cathedral. Someone is making their hajj toward Mecca, for it is the will of Allah. And yet someone else is lighting a fire in a jungle, repeating an ancient mystical drama. Many, many pathways up the mountaintop, and the view is always the same from the summit. In the dawning of the spiritual sun, for a moment all faiths became as one. The Christian, Buddhist, Muslim, Jew became as one, and somehow knew that mystic voice that calls to me, oh, yonder, yonder person, I am thee. We are one. In this oneness do we live and move and have our being. In this oneness do we arise together beyond color, race, creed, sexual orientation, and political affiliation. In this oneness do we feel that deep, deep connection that we are all part of the human family. And as I make this declaration this morning, knowing that wherever pain seems to be operating anywhere on the planet, the presence of God is. Wherever dis-ease seems to be operating anywhere on the planet, the presence of God is. Wherever upset seems to be operating anywhere on the planet, the presence of God is. God in us, God as us, God is the only truth of us. And I want to add, if there's anyone viewing this morning that possibly cried themselves to sleep last night, know that you are not alone. The love of God surrounds you, the light of God enfolds you, the power of God protects you, and the presence of God watches over you. That wherever you are, God is. You are loved. And now align with me as I make this declaration into the law of mind. That which needs to be healed is healed. That which needs to be revealed is revealed. That which needs to be known is known, and that which needs to be released is released quickly, gently, and with grace. Thank you, Father, Mother God, for this way of life, for the willingness to know that you go before us and prepare the way as we become a light into our own path. We are so deeply grateful for this way of life and the recognition that at any moment we recreate the energy of our lives. Peace, shalom, peace, shante, peace, salam, peace, pause, peace, pax, peace, Frieden, peace, 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 peace. And so it is. Amen. And now it is my great pleasure to introduce Claudia Thompson, who has been a friend of mine for, well, I've been here almost 20 years, so seems like about 19 years. And she is going to do our spiritual reading. She is also a lunar astrologer, and she's on Facebook. She gives, what I love about Claudia, come on up, is that her ground of being and her lunar astrology is spiritual. It's a spiritual foundation. And in your readings, I love how you always take it to the very highest octave, always on the solution level. And we know that God created the heavens and the earth, right?
Right.
And you're so good at what you've done. And I want to just share, she's very, very humble, but she was in the beauty arts in Hollywood and received an Emmy for her work. So she's a star in her own right. And it's just a pleasure to have her with us this morning, and your love. Thank you, dear.
Thank you. We are on the verge of a very powerful super full moon. I have to mention that to you. You may have been feeling the rising and falling of your moods and seen it in other people as we approach this full moon, super full moon tomorrow night at 8:31 p.m. in the powerful sign of Scorpio. The moon is all about change. And things do not change. We change, as Henry David Thoreau said. Do you perceive change as friend or foe? Of course, the answer depends on the change. From a universal perspective, change is the only constant. It is manifesting 24/7, whether we like it or not. Whether welcome or unwelcome, we can harness the energy of change and use it to our advantage by shifting our perspective. It seems that we suffer when change happens where we don't really want it to, or conversely, doesn't happen where we really want it to occur. What if we could reframe our understanding of the dynamic energy of change? What if we could welcome it as a gift the universe is bestowing upon us, trusting change happens when it is supposed to? What if we could surrender? Big word I want you to remember for this Scorpio full moon: surrender to the divine within you. This universal impulse to expand and go with its flow. What if we could do this rather than trying to resist or manipulate it? The key is to understand that regardless of whether we are consciously invoking change in our lives or resisting it, we are dealing with the same dynamic universal principle. And it is an energy which is totally impartial to our wants, needs, and desires. We can choose to see change as an ally or an enemy, and it will respond accordingly. We can learn how the dynamic of change works and align with it in a manner which serves us in healthy, life-affirming ways, or we can stay stuck, pushing against it. We've got 7 planets in fixed signs at the time of this full moon, telling us we can be intractable and stuck, or we can truly go with the flow. The downside to resisting change is that it will have its way. It will eventually wear us out. It has been said that in a contest between a river and a rock, the river always wins. Why? Because the river is willing to follow the natural call of gravity, going over, under, around, or eventually through the rock to its destiny, which, as with all water, is to ultimately merge with the ocean. Moon in Scorpio is a water sign. The rock is stuck where it is, relentlessly pushing against the river, resisting the natural flow of water until, over a long enough period of time, it's worn down to a pebble. This is the promise of this full moon, that your fears, your old wounds and hurts can be worn down to a pebble and then dissolve into its native nothingness. If you ever visit the Grand Canyon, you'll see that this is true. The metaphor of the rock and the river is delightfully obvious. The river represents us. When we are conscious of our oneness with the universe and willing to trust the call of gravity, going with the flow of life without trying to force or manipulate it. Be the river. From a spiritual perspective, gravity represents the silent call of the beloved one, wooing us to come closer, to surrender to the journey that is ours to take, the unfolding of who we have come here to be, and to do it with grace and ease. The rock represents the past and our attachment to it. The rock symbolizes our resistance to change and fear of the unknown. The ocean to which the river flows represents a life fulfilled in our oneness with something larger than us. It's our merging with the source from which we came, surrendering to and going with the natural flow of the river called change is how we reach the fulfillment of a life worth living. I'm going to give you a little tool to navigate this wild and crazy full moon, and that is to put your hand on your belly with me right now. The moon rules the tummy and the belly, and breathe into your belly. If you feel tense as this most intensely emotional full moon of the year, folks, if you feel intense emotions, make sure that your belly is moving when you breathe. Feel yourself connect to the river of oneness. Feel the feeling and let it go right out into the river of oneness. And remember, with the sun in Taurus, it reminds you that you are always enough and you are your greatest resource. You will always have enough because you are enough.
Oh, that was lovely.
Thank you.
Look at me, just look at me. I am changing, doing everything I can. Oh yes, I am changing. I'm gonna be better than I am. I'm gonna find a way, oh, to understand. But you know, I could use a hand. Oh, I could use a hand. For I am changing. Saying everything so clear. Oh yes, I am changing. I'm gonna start right now, right here. I'm gonna work it out. See, I know I can, but I could use a hand. Yeah. All my life, you know, I've been a fool. I thought I could do it all alone. Why, how many good friends have I already lost? How many dark nights have I known, walking down that wrong road, while there was nothing I could find. All those years in darkness, you know, why, it can make a person blind. But now I'm changing in every way I can. Oh yes, I am changing. I'll be better than I am. But I could use a friend. Help me to start over again. Oh, you know, why, that would be just fine, yes. I know I'm gonna work it out this time, yes I am. 'Cause this time I am, yeah. This time I am changing. I'm gonna get my life together now. Yes, I am changing. You see, now I know how. I'm gonna start again. Oh, I'm gonna leave my past behind. Oh, I'm gonna change my life. I'm gonna make a vow. I know nothing is gonna stop me now. No, nothing's gonna stop me now. And now, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Sharon Stroud.
Wow, that was fabulous. We are just so deeply blessed, aren't we, to have the most wonderful talent on the planet here every Sunday. And I never take it for granted. I am just so grateful for our fleet who's been with us for 13 years, and we're just deeply blessed. I've loved our theme for the month, The Art of Being. It's a book by the Reverend Dr. Dennis Merritt Jones, my colleague, who used to come to the Camelot Theater when we were there and speak for me a few times, and was always wonderful. And he's also a singer, if you recall, as well. And this book is filled with substance. And I love this topic on change. That things, right, they don't change, we do. And the world outside of us responds to that change. This is how it works. And what we know is that change is the only permanent thing in life. And yet nothing is so resisted as change. And I loved Claudia's reading of just acknowledging that, all the planets are falling into place for us. And that as we open and we resist not, just as the river will always have its way, it's the river of oneness, so that big boulder suddenly is a tiny little pebble. And the things that we've been concerned about is the water's purification, isn't it? And as we draw together this purification process, we know that we are balanced and harmonized. So I would like to share, I have studied shamanism for years. And in the 80s, I had a beautiful shaman teacher. She was the high chiefess of the Pueblo Nation. Her name was Kachi. And she and her mother would put on these great, wonderful powwows, and we would come and we would do vision quests. And I lived on the ocean in Coronado for several years, and we would do dolphin runs. And it was just a very magical time, because I feel that the shamans got it, that we are in the world to revere Mother Earth. And we know that on the 22nd, on Wednesday, what was it? It was Earth Day. And to honor our Mother Earth and to acknowledge that there is, Sky Father, Earth Mother, Grandfather Sun, Grandmother Moon, the finned ones below, the winged ones above, the rock people that share their sermons in stones, the standing ones, the guardians, the trees. Our sister, the babbling brook that shares her song in a universe filled with calm, and all the little four-leggeds that romp and roam and muse upon the Earth Mother that is their home. And we know with Chief Seattle, we did not weave the web of life, did we? We did not weave the web of life. We are merely a strand on it. So with great unconditional positive regard, we bow to one another. And we allow this energy, as I bow to you, and acknowledge, if I am in that place in me, and you are in that place in you, there truly is only one of us. So when we look at the changes in life, and honoring Mother Earth, and honoring the energy of our planet, and honoring one another, that we are all part of the human family. And I loved when I met with the president of the United Nations in Geneva, Switzerland. Her name was Carolyn Hanshin. And she talked about that there's patriarchy and there's matriarchy. And she said, I'm about familyarchy. And when we're about familyarchy, we're acknowledging the human family, that we are all related. And as the ancient indigenous peoples states, all my relations, that we are all related. This is our ground of being, that those that came before us, they offered up this legacy, all my relations. And in saying that, one of my very favorite stories is about an initiation process. Now, my 12-year-old grandson just took a 9-hour test in his martial arts to receive his black belt. And I said to him, when he's been doing this since he was 6. So he was about 7. And I said, well, he was going to martial arts. I said, practice makes perfect. He said, oh no, Mima, not practice makes perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect, because you can do it incorrectly and then it's not perfect. But perfect practice, he's sharing this energy of the perfect practice makes perfect and doing it correctly. And I love this because we'll talk about, in New Thought, there's the metaphysicians and the metaphysicers, right? And so he said, and Mima, we do not have opponents. We have partners. We're not there to hurt each other. We're there to grow our own practice. And you know what I told him? This is the formula for world peace. We're not opponents. We're partners. We're not here to hurt each other. We're here to grow and unfold in our own personal lives, to wear away, as our divine water symbol wears away the energy of the granite rock into the tiny pebble, and then returning it to its native nothingness, to the great Mother Ocean. So on this day, I would like to share about this initiation process. And it was with the Pueblo Nation. And it was shared with me by my teacher. And she was sharing with me that in the Pueblo Nation, there is an initiation. And when each young man turns 12 years old, just like my grandson, they have an initiation where they have to go out into the forest with nothing but a loincloth, a bow, and one arrow. They have to stay there all night until they can feel the sun on their body temple. And they know that they've passed through this initiation. And so the youngest son in the tribe just turned 12, and he was rather small for his age. And it was scary going out into the forest with nothing but a loincloth, a bow, and one arrow. And the caveat, you had to be blindfolded. So there he went, and small in stature, but a brave young man going out into the forest, but he was shaking a little. And there he was under the tree with his little bow and one arrow, blindfolded. And he would hear a crackling and he'd turn, and then it would stop. And then he would hear something else, and he was just absolutely shivering with the cold. As morning broke and the sun began to rise, he heard a sharp crackling, and he turned with his little bow and his arrow, and as he was going to extend and release his arrow, he looked up, took off the blindfold, and there was the great chief, his father, guarding him for the whole night. And he said, "Oh, my son, I am always with you, always, guarding and protecting you." And what I love about this great legend is that there's a power and a presence at our scariest moments that is guarding, guiding, and protecting us. The love of God surrounds us. The light of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. That we are feeling this energy, the wings of the angels around us. Blessed are they who have eyes that see, who have ears that hear. and that we are never, ever alone. So when we look at the power of change in our lives, and that nothing is so resisted as change, and that as we open to change and we surrender to change, we move to the next level of our evolution. Remember, life goes not backward nor tarries with yesterday. Life is the forward progression of the soul. Now, there's a great story about a professor at Columbia University, and he gave his class an assignment, and they each picked up a piece of paper. And I actually recreated the piece of paper because this is what it looked like. It was a piece of paper with a black dot on it. So each student studied it, and I said, oh, so you want us to write about this paper with the black dot? And the professor said, yes, I would like you to give me your own account of what this means to you. So they were, the class, they were scurrying away and writing, and in 1 hour he stopped it and said, we're complete, please pass them in. And he read them. And one was about the black holes of the universe, and it went on, and it was amazing. And another one was like, it was like a target in life, and keep on our goals and our targets. And another one was about, the blackness in our lives. It just went on and on. And he read each one of them, all 25, the professor. Then he held it up, and he said, isn't it interesting that there's all this light around the black dot, and not one of you mentioned the light around the black dot. You all honed in on the black dot. And he said, as an object lesson, how many of us hone in on our problems, our troubles, what's going on? We tell the story. We're like a broken record, right? We're like a little parrot, that anyone who will listen, right? Here's all this light. Let's focus and hone in on the light. That light that is everywhere present. And as we hone in on the light, it absorbs the black dot. Because what? The darkness comprehendeth it not, and shadows flee away forever and ever and ever. And as we focus on the light and we look up, we take off our blindfold, and there is our Father, Mother God. There's an energy of support for us, whatever that looks like. Sometimes it's our little four-leggeds that are there with so much joy and unconditional love. I can walk out this door for 2 minutes. I walk back in, and my little Miss Minnie is jumping up and down, and she's creating, just this wonderful welcome. I've been gone for 2 minutes. It's so wonderful, isn't it, to be loved unconditionally and to acknowledge that when you walk in the door, and I love that when I was watching an interview program, and Oprah was interviewing her teacher, her mentor, and she said, when you walk into a room and people's eyes light up, you know that they are so happy to see you. And there are times we walk into a room and people's eyes don't light up. So what do? We send them the light. We don't focus on the black dot. We send them the light. And as we send them the light, something happens, doesn't it? And that I have found that energetically, that the universe arises to our expectation. When there was a high school teacher, she was given all the problem kids. They would skip school and they would do all their little things, and they were problems. A lot of them were suspended, and she got them all. And they didn't exactly, share with her that these were the problem kids. So she looked at their names on the first day, and, she looked across, and there were numbers across from the names. And she began to treat them with great unconditional positive regard. And if a student would act out, she would just say, I know you're having a moment. I'll give you that moment. We know you'll be back with us. We honor you. And whatever went on, she just took it to the next level. She didn't focus on the black dot. She focused on all the light within them. And they responded. And they became straight A students. Now, the principal was just absolutely blown away. He said, my God, how did you manage this class of practically delinquents to become straight A students? She said, well, when you gave me their names and, and I looked across at their intelligence quotients, their IQs, they were so high, they were geniuses. I treated them as geniuses. They responded as geniuses. He said, oh my God, those were not their IQs. Those were their locker numbers. Now, she did not know that. So she treated each individual as a genius. And the truth is, if we are created in the image and likeness of God, that each of us tap into that creative genius and that we open to change. And it gets easier. And believe me, I know what it is to resist change. And finally, you surrender. You let go and let God do what God does best by means of you, because you are unique. There's not another one like you. You are unique. You are special. That's right. Each and every one of us. No two fingerprints exactly alike, right? No two snowflakes exactly alike. That we are unique. And that when we go through our dark night of the soul and we feel shivering and blindfolded, that guess what? There is our Father, Mother, God. I am with you always. I will never forsake you, even till the end of the earth. I am with you always. And that we are at choice, that we can hone into the black dots in our life. We can reiterate the story, or we can look at all the light in our lives and build on that gratitude, because gratitude is what? The brightest beam to heaven, isn't it? Gratitude. So on this glorious day where we come together and we feel this energy. In fact, today after our service, we're going to go straight over to Old Temecula. It's an hour and a half drive. And the book that I have co-authored with Robbie Motter and 46 other authors is called It's All About Showing Up. Now, we're told that showing up is 90% of life, right? And the other 10% is up to us. It's all about showing up. The power is in the asking. So we're going to have a wonderful book signing at the Burgundy Club in Old Temecula town and be together to celebrate one another and our creative endeavors, and to celebrate Robbie Motter, who's been one of my greatest supporters all these years. I spoke for her group. She had a group called You 25 years ago, and I was her guest speaker. And every major award that I've received, Robbie has nominated me, with the exception of a couple, of course. But I just thank her. It's been very fun to be the Riverside County Woman of the Year Award and to acknowledge this Coachella Valley that I love so dearly. And that if we're on the planet long enough and we love what we do and do what we love, there's no greater combination in life than that. So things don't change. We change. And the world outside of us responds to that change. And who cares if they're locker numbers? We treat each person as an individual. And as these young people were treated as troublemakers, guess what? They responded and arose to the occasion of the perfect troublemaker. But when they were treated with respect and honoring, they arose to the occasion of their true genius, their true uniqueness and specialness. That's what makes the difference. So today, where we acknowledge that things don't change, we change. We're all going somewhere. And where is that? Higher yet. Where is it? Higher yet. Where is it? Higher yet. For we are in a high place and we will not come down. None of these outer things move us, do they? None of these outer things move us. So I say to you, namaste. The God in me celebrates the God in you. And the God in you celebrates the God in me. And if I am in that place in me, and you are in that place in you, there is only one of us. Namaste. And I say shalom, the peace that passes all understanding. And God blesses everyone. And so it is. And it's been a joy to be with our wonderful, wonderful virtual community, knowing that we're feeling that oneness, and our community here at Interfaith Spiritual Center Worldwide, a divine idea in the mind of God whose time has come. The time is now, and the place is where we are. And now it's my great joy to introduce the Reverend Prince Fleet Easton, who has something so very beautiful planned for us. Take it away, dear Fleet.
Have I told you lately that I love you? Have I told you that there's no one else above you? You fill my heart with gladness, take away all my sadness, ease my troubles, that's what you do. For the morning sun in all its glory greets the day with love and comfort too. You fill my life with laughter, somehow you make it better. Ease my troubles, that's what you do. Fill my life with gladness, take away all my sadness, ease my troubles, that's what you do. And there's a love that's divine, and it's yours and it's mine, like the sun. And at the end of the day, we should give thanks and pray to the one, oh, to the one. Have I told you lately that I love you? Have I told you that there's no one else above you? You fill my heart with gladness, you take away all my sadness, ease my troubles, that's what you do.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Sharon Stroud.
Thank you so much. This is our time of giving and receiving. So please take your gift in your hand. And for those of you in our virtual community who are you're sending in your tithes, your love offerings, your financial support, we are deeply, deeply grateful. I want to acknowledge the Reverend Dr. Roger Babinek, who is our amazing host with the most. And he has posted our PayPal account. He has posted our P.O. box. If you'd like to mail in your gift. And we did receive 2 calls this week for our P.O. box. So that was wonderful. And of course, we have a credit card facility to call the number, and we'll be happy to take your donation and your tithe love offering in that way. So please repeat after me. I give this gift with love and joy.
I give this gift with love and joy.
I give this gift as a sacred expression of who I am.
I give this gift as a sacred expression of who I am.
In giving to God, I give to myself.
In giving to God, I give to myself.
I give thanks for the abundance that is mine.
I give thanks for the abundance that is mine.
And so it is.
So it is.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. And we just bless the offering, and we acknowledge the generosity given today, knowing it is pressed down, shaken together, and flowing over into every area of our life. For we know the same opening that we give through is the same opening we receive through. And so it is. Amen.
So it is.
And now our wonderful fleet and Kay and Claudia will come up, and we are always completing our service with shower the people with love, right?
Well, you can play the game, you can act out the part, though you know it wasn't written for you. But tell me how you gonna stand there with a broken heart, ashamed of playing the fool. You know one thing can lead to another. It doesn't take any sacrifice. Oh, father and mother, sister and brother, if it feels nice, do it twice. And just shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna be much better if you only will. What I mean to say is, shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna be much better if you only will. You know you can run, but you can't hide. This is widely known. And what you plan to do with your foolish pride when you're all by yourself, all alone. You know, once you tell somebody the way you feel, you can feel it beginning to ease. I guess it's true what they say about the squeaky wheel, always getting the grease. So many, you better shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna be much better if you only will. What I mean to say is, shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna be much better if you only will. Ooh, ooh. Shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Just shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Make it rain, rain love and kisses. Rain love,
Oh, thank you so much, everyone. Well, once again, thank you, Claudia, and thank you, Miss Kay, for joining me up here. And Miss Minnie, hey! Well, you know what, Miss Minnie and I want to thank everyone for joining us today right here at Interfaith Spiritual Center Worldwide. As I always say in the beginning of our broadcast, wherever you are on your journey of spirit, you are welcome, loved, and accepted. This is a way of life where we honor all paths to God. Once more, I want to remind you, on Wednesday night, the Spirit, Mind, and Body Connection, right here at 7:30 with Dr. Sharon Stroud. It's the art of being. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us today. We know you had a divine appointment. You just didn't show up here by accident. There was a message in there just for you. So Minnie, shall we say goodbye to everyone till next week? All right. Have a beautiful, beautiful week, everyone. Take care and God bless.